Welcome back. Now, KZN Premier Zigalala is visiting residents who were affected by the floods in Ndwendwe, KwaZulu-Natal. Locals have been battling to pick up the pieces after devastating floods ravaged parts of the province. Let's go to senior reporter Sipamandla Goke, who is actually with the Premier at the moment. Sipa, I wonder what the Premier is saying, looking at what he's witnessing this time around because of the floods.
Devastation all over KwaZulu-Natal, Maseko. We are in Ndwendwe. Ngamkize will show you the Mdleche family lost 3 children. Of course, there was a mudslide and then they were sleeping inside the house, which is on my right. They were washed away. Some family members were able to survive. It's very tragic here if you're listening to the story of what really transpired. This is the house where the children were sleeping when the tragedy struck, and it's really terrible if you are listening to family members explaining what happened here. It's one of many stories across KwaZulu-Natal whereby people are experiencing and explaining what really went down. Just look at this. This is where the 3 children's bodies were washed away. Water took them all the way down. Community members had to intervene to try and look for bodies. Luckily, they were able to retrieve them, but unfortunately, they couldn't make it. Some family members are still in hospital. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Zigalala is visiting various areas. Baba Kuzen, thank you very much for your time. Devastation and tragic incidents across the province. In terms of the death toll, do you have the latest information for us?
Well, thanks. In terms of the death toll, we are still finalizing the collection of numbers. But we can say that it is approximately more than 300 already, because by yesterday we received a report that more than 269 deaths were already registered. We're here at Ndwendwe, and we can see also the devastation, the worst we could expect, something that nobody ever thought of. We want to send condolences to the family of Mdleche. We also are with the eNCA who is with us here to pledge our solidarity and our condolences to the family. We are all over in the whole of KwaZulu-Natal, in all areas that are affected. We have assigned MECs to visit those areas so that we see for ourselves, but also be with the people. We have already started providing support. We know that people have lost food, have lost clothes. Some don't even have shelter. So we are working on providing those necessary support to all people of KwaZulu-Natal.
If you're listening to the stories that are being shared by community members, it appears as if it took some time for help to arrive, simply because of disconnection. Roads were inaccessible. But the Mdleche family has said that community members had to step up and help out in looking for the washed away children. In terms of rescue operations, how is it that one going for now?
Well, it's going on in areas where there are still missing people. We will want to thank community members who reach out to assist the Mdleche family, and that is what happened in a number of areas. But on top of that, we must also thank the rescue teams for the work they continue to do. I think nobody ever thought of this situation, and we were never thinking that we will be faced with this. So as far as the bodies that have been recovered, I think we must thank the rescue teams. We must also thank the disaster management centers for the quick response they made. And we must also appreciate that departments such as social development is already providing support to the people, including supporting them with counseling and other psychological support they need.
Any idea how many people are still missing?
Well, we've got various reports. you will find that in eThekwini you've got people who are still missing in different areas. For instance, one of the families in Umzinyati, they were reporting that they only recovered 4 bodies and 6 were still missing. So it depends on area by area. We are collating that information as we are in districts, all districts today.
As the National Treasurer started releasing the emergency funds, KwaZulu-Natal has been declared a disaster area.
Not yet. What will happen, we are declaring the disaster, and following that, we will then conduct an assessment of the damage incurred. Then we will be able to get the appropriate fund or budget that is required to fix the damage. Then we will engage with the National Treasury. We have been already in touch with the Minister of Finance, but what is important for now is to ensure that we provide support which is necessary for communities in terms of disaster and in terms of burial support.
Especially because some communities say no one has reached out to them. They are struggling, they are stranded for the past 3 days.
Yes, we have reached out to almost all people, but if there are people who are not yet assisted, we would like to identify those areas so that we help them. We want all of us to be hands-on. We call on all officials to continue supporting our people, and we call on neighbors, all communities, to assist each other. And for those who have not been assisted, please contact the district offices or the local offices of the municipalities, but they can also contact us as the provincial government.
This disaster will affect KwaZulu-Natal negatively in terms of tourism and the economy. The long Easter weekend is upon us. Many people are cancelling their holidays to KwaZulu-Natal.
Well, yes, there are challenges in terms of tourism, but we will encourage that all those who would want to come and experience KwaZulu-Natal, but be in safe areas. And I think all hospitality facilities are ramping up their measures to ensure protection of visitors.
I think the biggest challenge right now, though, is the issue of water and electricity. What is ESCOM and municipalities saying to you in terms of how are they going to go about to restore those services?
They are working hard. ESCOM, we have been in touch with them. They are working hard to restore services. Umngeni is also working hard to ensure that they clean their dams and their reservoirs so that they will be able to start connecting pipes that were destroyed and then start supplying water to the people. We are in touch with them. We want to assure all people of KwaZulu-Natal in all areas that have been affected that we are working hard and with speed to ensure that services are installed.
You have another challenge. People in Umlazi are looting during this tragedy.
All those who tried to loot yesterday have been arrested. And for that, we thank and applaud the police for quick response. And in any case, in any situation, wherever there are people who try to loot, we will respond in the similar manner.
Do you have any idea how long it will take to fix KwaZulu-Natal after this tragedy?
It will be a long process. It starts from ensuring that those who are affected are given emergency support, but also supported for burials. Then we start the construction, whether it's houses, schools, and roads and bridges that have been destroyed.
And I guess to know the extent of the damage will also take weeks and even months.
Will take weeks. We are trying our best to get the best engineers as well as all experts who will help us to quantify the damage accordingly. Then we will then be able to apply for emergency fund.
In closing, those emergency funds, how are you going to ensure that they are not misused?
We will want to work with national and provincial treasury to ensure that funds are not misused. Close monitoring will be in place to ensure that those funds are not misused but are directed to the services that are meant for.
Thank you very much for time. Let's release you. That's the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, who's visiting various areas across the province. The focus today is in iLembe District Municipality, the second biggest district to be heavily affected by these floods after eThekwini.
All right, senior reporter Siphamandla Goke in Ndwedwe. Let's leave it there for now. Of course, as you heard Sipha there, the Premier visiting homes and assessing the situation. 3 family members in that household have passed away due to the fire. Now,